G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a beginner's guide to Apex Legends, specifically for Season 9. This will work in future seasons, but I do want to cater it towards Season 9's legend and weapon meta. So I'll be teaching you what are the best weapons, what are the best legends, what are some good drop spots, and then just general tips and tricks for how you can get as good at the game as possible, as quickly as possible. Apex Legends has seen a massive surge in popularity right now, so if you're an old player coming back to the game and you need a refresher or you're a little bit confused, or if you're brand new to the game, today's video I'll try to keep it as concise as possible to make it just a quick video to get you fully caught up to date so you can jump straight in and know what you're doing off the bat. Apex Legends is a pretty complex game, but once you get through the basics, it is insanely fun. It is by far one of the most fun games out there right now, and I know the learning curve and dropping in and seeing all these weapons with all these crazy weapon types and there's so many legends, they all have so many abilities, can be quite daunting and overwhelming, but I will make it very, very simple. Let's start off with the legends. Let's start off with who are you going to pick to play with. Now, each legend has three main things about them. They have a passive ability, an active ability, and an ultimate ability. These three things pretty much dictate why you pick them and which ones are the best. Now, off the bat, there is no one best legend. There's lots of different legends that can be better than others at certain times, depending on whether they've been balanced or not by EA, but overall, it's all around playstyle. Some of the best players in the world play some really weird legends that almost no one does, and for example, one of my favorite legends, Loba, almost nobody plays, but I want to give you three legends that are in the starter pack, so you don't have to buy anything, you'll get to play them straight off the bat, and I want to pick them for different playstyles that'll cater towards you. After that, if you want to spend your money and buy some other legends and try them out, go for it, but I just want to give you the starting point. The three main legends I'm going to be talking about today are Bloodhound, Gibraltar, and Wraith. All three of them are free. You can play them straight off the bat, and let's just start off with Bloodhound. I think Bloodhound is the best starting legend for new people playing the game for one main reason: the scan. His main ability is a scan that shows you enemies through walls that are around you. This is obviously fantastic. I don't need to explain why, but it's really good if you're new to the game because it's going to help your teammates who are maybe better than you, so it makes them play better and you're still providing some kind of assistance despite you being quite new to the game. You don't need to jump around the corner and hit 10 headshots back to back. You're giving them information. It also helps you because if you're new to the game, sometimes it's hard to just figure out where people are. He sounds like he's above me, he's behind the corner, he's below me, he's behind me. The scan ability just lets you see players, it highlights them so you know what's going on in a fight. Also, his ultimate is very, very simple. It's just a giant buff to your stats when fighting. So if you're about to start a fight, you pop your ultimate. You don't have to have any crazy trick shots. You don't have to be super smart about how you use it. Just if you're about to fight, pop your ultimate. You are way stronger now, and it will make your scan come off cooldown even faster. Second legend is Gibraltar. Gibraltar's fantastic again because of his shield bubble. His main ability drops a giant dome of a shield. You can only shoot inside the shield or outside the shield. You can't shoot inside out or outside in. So if you're in a bad position or you want to give your teammates some cover, drop down the shield bubble. It'll make things a lot more contained. Instead of getting sniped off in the distance or getting shot by someone you can't see, you're now in your bubble. You get to calm down, refigure out what's going on, and then go from there. Also, because you're Gibraltar, you're a bigger, tankier character, you take less damage. So if you're getting beamed, if you're playing Wraith or some of the faster characters, sometimes it's good to play the tankier character. His passive ability is awesome. When you're holding down aim down sights on your gun, when you're looking down the scope, it brings up a mini shield, so it's harder for you to take damage back from an opponent, especially at lower levels. Players aren't moving around as much, their movement's not as good, so a lot of them are standing still and aiming down sights like you probably will be when you first start playing the game. I'll talk about that in a little bit. You shouldn't be doing that, but that will let you win more of those fights. His ultimate is also fantastic. It's basically a giant airstrike. It does a whole bunch of damage, but it's really simple to use. You don't have to aim it really well. It's not like a Pathfinder ultimate that shoots a crazy grappling hook. It's real simple. Last but not least, Wraith. You've probably heard about Wraith. She's a lot of people's sweaty main. She's an aggressive character, but you don't have to play her aggressively. I think she's fantastic to be played by a new player because of her active ability being invisibility. You basically phase and you go invisible and you can run away from a fight, or you can enter a fight. So if you make a mistake, if you jump into the wrong fight, if you go around the wrong corner, it's kind of like a get out of jail free card. Her passive also means she takes 5% less damage, which is really helpful because she's a smaller character. She can can also be hard to shoot. So if you want to play a bit more aggressive, or maybe you're a bit more across Apex and you want to start getting good at a character that you can really get dominant at, I think Wraith is a good one. Her ultimate is a little bit confusing. It's the most confusing out of the 3 that I've suggested today. You start a portal, and then whenever you stop the portal, it now creates a portal at either end. You go through one end, you'll come out the other. You can go back through to go out the other end. It's got some really cool uses. You can use that to, get to a down teammate, then they can go through the portal and you can, res them in safety, or you can just use it before you enter a fight, so you kind of have a get out of jail free card. It's not really the ultimate why I recommend Wraith. It's the active ability to kind of just let you go invisible and run away from a fight if you shouldn't have engaged it. Now let's talk about weapons. And before anyone comes at me, I'm basing this for beginners. I know weapons like the Wingman are going to be insane if you've got like absolute god tier aim, but for beginners, it's not just a great choice. So I'm going to give you a few weapons that you should try to practice getting used to, and then the game will become much easier. The best gun in the game for beginners is the R301 or the Spitfire, specifically the R301. It's an assault rifle. It is really, really good at medium range, and it's also really, really good at close range. It's by far the most forgiving gun. The fire rate isn't so high that if you're missing your shots, you're just going to spray a whole clip out of the gun like an R99, but it's still good at that close to long range, so you have that kind of versatility of anything. So if you can find an R301, definitely pick that up. Now, the Spitfire is really, really good. It's just been nerfed, but it's still incredibly strong. It's an LMG, it's a light machine gun. The reason why I like this is it's not the best at medium to long range, but close range, it's got a really, really big magazine size. So if you're missing a few shots or you're struggling to hit your target, it is quite forgiving because you do have that big magazine. Those are like my 2 main recommendations. The other good weapons would be using a flatline. It's kind of like the R301, but it uses heavy ammo. It's still an assault rifle. It does a lot of damage. It's a good weapon, but it's got a lot more recoil than the R301. So if you're not used to it, you will miss a few shots. As far as your secondary though, you can run an SMG. The R99 or the Volt SMG are both very, very strong, or I would recommend running a shotgun. A lot of times, if your aim's not the best in Apex, you're going to probably like unload a full clip of the R301. You're going to get a player low and you're just not going to be able to finish them, and you're going to have to reload. If you have an SMG to swap to, or a shotgun especially, to do that last little bit of damage, it's really going to help you out a lot. You can run the sniper rifles, or you can run the bow check bow, or some of the fancy stuff as your secondary, but just get used to trying to find an R301 or a flatline for your main weapon, and then figure out if you want an SMG or a shotgun for your second weapon. So run an R99 or a Volt. Those are the 2 SMGs I'd recommend. Or for the shotguns, try to run a Peacekeeper or an EVA and EVA. Try to avoid the Mastiff or the Mozambique. They're both not the greatest. As for how the meds and shields work, it's very, very simple. You have a health bar and you have a shield bar. Depending on how good your armor is, you'll have different levels of plate armor. If you have gray, which is the starting armor, you only have 2, blue has 3, purple has 4, etc. You can find better armor, or if you do damage, you'll notice that your armor actually levels up. It's a number in the bottom left, it's called Evo, so the more damage you do, you get better armor. But basically, if you want to heal your health, you have syringes that will heal your health a little bit, or med kits that will heal your health total. You have, for your shield, you have shield cells that will give you 1 block of shield, or you have shield batteries that will heal all your shield. You also have Phoenix kits that will give you full health and full shield. So as far as when you're finding meds and running around looting, I would prioritizing grabbing shield batteries and med kits because they give you full heals, they're better. Run a few shield cells or a few syringes in there as well, but don't run 12 shield cells and 12 syringes. You're not going to use them. It's what a lot of lower ranked people do. They just carry way too much. Try to get used to carrying some arc stars and some thermites, your grenades, but honestly, wait until you get a grips of the game before you start using a bunch of the nades. That's usually like the last thing to come. As for tips and tricks, I'm going to make other videos about specific topics in the future, but the main thing you need to get down as a beginner is movement is everything. Don't worry too much if your aim isn't great. Try to practice having good aim while moving around. In Apex, especially because most of it's trios or duos if you're queuing for duos, but I'd recommend trios, you're going to get shot at by a lot of different people at the same time. It's great if you hit all your shots, but if you're standing still, looking down the side of your gun and you're hitting your shots, you're going to get beamed every time. Try to practice keeping your movement going. Get good at sliding, get good at, jumping, get good at crouching, strafe side to side. Just don't stand still when you're going for your shots. That's the main tip that I will give you. If you notice the pros, that's what makes them so good. They hit all their shots while they're moving. The second thing is how you aim. You don't have to aim down sights a lot in Apex Legends. If you're fighting someone at decent range, let's say like 20 to 30 meters, or what's that, like 40 feet for the Americans, yeah, you might want to aim down sights, they're pretty far away. But if you're close to someone, learn how to just hip fire. The hip fire accuracy, which means just shooting without holding down left trigger or without holding down right click, is really, really strong in Apex Legends, especially with the weapons I described. The R301, the R99, the Volt SMG. The only gun you really do want to aim down sights for close range is the shotguns, otherwise the spread's really massive. But that's the main thing. Too often when I started playing the game, I'd miss a lot of shots because I'm always trying to look down my scope. Just stay hip fire, sit back, strafe side to side. You'll hit as many shots, if not more, and it will make your movement way better. The only times you want to ADS like kind of close-ish range is when no one can see you, the player's got their back turned to you, or they're standing still, and you just want to completely delete them. But for the most part, get close to them, hip fire. And that about does it. I could make a video on so much more. I mean, this is one of the most deep, complex games there are, and I'm gonna make more videos in the future, but I wanted to keep this as a real, concise, straight to the point, the questions you're gonna have and the things you need to learn to start playing to get better. I'll make future videos with other tricks like, you know, Evo swapping, how to combine abilities, you know, talking about wall jumping and like, you know, tap strafing, things like that I'll talk about in the future. But this one, I wanted to keep nice and simple. Just enjoy the game. Apex Legends is one of the most fun games on the market right now. The new season is so fresh. Just enjoy. You're not going to be the best off the bat. Your aim's going to be a little bit off. Your movement's going to be off. The abilities are going crazy. You're going to be grabbing all the wrong attachments. That's part of the process. Just enjoy it, learn. It does get a lot better, a lot quicker, but I hope today's video helped. If it did, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comments section down below any topics you want me to make videos on. I'm going to be putting a bunch of Apex Legends content out on this YouTube channel just because I'm loving the game. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.